Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm Beth and welcome to Stampin'. Okay, so let me pull up my video here. Happy Saturday. It is August 9th, 2025. And let's see, if you pop in, say good morning. If you're new to watching from, so I'm just going to wait a second here and give some time for everyone to join me. If you're watching the replay over on YouTube, say hi there as well. I'd love to get to know you. Good morning, Linda. Okay, so let me jump in real quick. I want to let you guys know about the Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin. August of the subscription period. So Paper Pumpkin subscription period ends on the 10th of the month every month. So the August box, you have until August 10th. And it does look like an old... Sorry about that. My video paused for just a second. I do apologize. If my video pauses, I know that can be annoying. My nephew is calling me repeatedly. So it may pause my video for a second because I forgot to put my do not disturb on. So please forgive me if that happens. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Dad. Excuse me. So, the August Farmhouse Florals is featuring flowers nested in unexpected places. So, we know that we get an extra stamp set with this box, and there's this little teapot that you can put your florals in. So that's, we did have a stamp set that looked like that. And we've had a couple where they have different things where you can add the flowers in to teapots, milk cans, things like that. And I love that. So I did share, there's a photo of florals coming out of a typewriter, which I don't know why, I really like that. I like that. Sorry, I paused again. You will want to grab this. Okay, it has a bonus stamp set. The September Fall for Toile is coordinates with a new product that's coming. I don't have it yet. It hasn't arrived yet for me to show you, but so be ready for that one. I really like that suite, and I will show it to you as soon as I have it. So if you have questions about Paper Pumpkin, just reach out to me. Okay, are you guys ready for our card today? I want to show you this bundle. This is an online product, so it's not in the catalog. It's called Cheers and Sips, and it has this cute drink set, and you can make fun summery drinks too, and just some of your favorite cocktails. And it does have coordinating dies. So I've been trying to test it out a little bit and see how I like it. So this is how everything stamps, and then you can build your drinks. And I've been trying some different ways to color it, but I wanted to show you this. It is a suite, so it has some matching designer series paper. And this is called Celebratory Sips. So that's the name of the suite. And so it has this paper in it. And when I saw it, I thought, I'm never going to use that. What am I going to use that for? But some person smarter than me figured out you can use this to have already colored drinks. So you use your dye with this. And then there's this cool texture dye in there that gives that. Now I could have overlapped it, moved it over and filled it all the way. I just ran it through at the same time just to kind of show it to you. So let me show you some of my cards that I did. I'm going to tuck this down in there. And we're going to make kind of a simple card. So I tried embossing. This is white embossed. And then I used a blender pen and my ink pads to color these. So some of them, like this, to me, the line art is a little too close. I didn't like it embossed. This one is stamped in the color, and then I picked up the ink and colored it in. So this, I used a blending brush, and this, I used this over top, and then some Versamark, and I didn't emboss it. So you can stamp with Versamark. It's a wet ink, it's clear, and you just let it dry, and it gives kind of a tone on tone. So those are some of the things I've been doing. Let me show you my cards, and then we will decide what drink we're going to make. Good morning, Christy. Thanks for joining. So I want to show you this as well. So sometimes you want to have a little shiny drink. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to make a card like this today, a simple card. So I made these layers, and I just stamped them with cheers and it's your day. Now I did color these with blends, but we are going to, I don't know, we'll try something different. I'm not sure how we're going to color it yet. We'll see what we want to do here. But I used clear embossing powder to, there we go, to give that a shine. Okay. And this I love, it's called a black cherry limeade, and it's limeade, and then they put syrup in the bottom, and you mix it up, and I love it. That's one of my favorite drinks. And non-alcoholic, but that's okay. Your summer drink can be either one. This one, I tried to do a Bloody Mary, but I just couldn't get my reds how I wanted. It looks more like wine to me, but with some celery in it. But I've also been drinking, it's like a Bloody Mary, but it's a mocktail, so it just doesn't have alcohol. But it has all the yummy, spicy flavors. So those are my two. And then I made this one, and I want to show you this one. So all of these are cut from that paper. So I used my dies to cut out my cups, and then I fussy cut all this pretty stuff. So let me show you the paper. There's lots in here. So on this side, there's all these little watercolored fruits and little orange peels and sprigs. So there's mint and rosemary. I think that's rosemary. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I just fussy cut a bunch of those out of my piece of paper, and then I adhered them onto my card. And I used this paper for these, and then I went over the top with Wink of Stella just to give it a little bit of shine. But I want to show you this because these are great. You could fussy cut. Now this does fit the die, okay? But when you have all these like lavender and little things hanging out, you'll need to cut around that. But I love this watercolor look, and you know, kind of the drink's already built for you. So you could use the paper and fussy cut and still make some drink cards, and then just add whatever greetings you want. So if you don't want the Stampin' Die, you could use the paper and make some really cute drink cards. Okay. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, Maggie. So I wanted to show you this because you can make your glass sparkly with your Wink of Stella if you don't do embossing. Okay, Wink of Stella. Let me find my Wink of Stella. It's like this. So you just brush it on. Okay. And this one I emboss. So if you don't like the messiness of the embossing and to make it have that sheen, you could use the Wink of Stella. So Good morning, Joan. So today I would like to do a simple card like this. And I do want to show you one thing. I brought in, see this little texture on the bottom? I used this piece from the Sunrise Sailing. I feel like it looks like a wood grain, okay? When you stamp it one direction, then turn it and stamp it again. It felt like a wood grain for my cup to sit on. So I brought that in as well. Look at what textures you have and what you can add. Now, the bonus to doing the clear embossing powder is it creates a resist. So that is how I did this. I used my blending brush. This isn't the right one, but, and I went over top and then it wipes off of this. Okay, this resists that ink. So that allowed me to do a background technique with this one. So we are going to, I have a couple things here. Like I said, I'm not going to make this card with a lot of cutting. We're going to do something like this, and we need to choose what kind of drink we want to make. So, and then we can choose how we're going to add color, and we can do some different things. So, yes, Vicki, I like when my stamps can go a little further. That's always a bonus. So we are going to decide what kind of drink we want to make. And I would like to do one with an umbrella this time. This one I did a lime, made with the lime sticking out. And this was the Bloody Mary, so I had the olive and the celery stalk. So what do you guys think? Let's do some kind of fruity drink with an umbrella, and we're going to stamp it, and then we will add some things to it, do some coloring. So we can either use the blender pens and the ink pads to add our color, or I do have a bunch of blends next to me, Stampin' Blends markers. So what do you guys think? What kind of fruity drink do we want to make for our summer card here? And I just have a piece of basic white, and it's 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Yeah. And we're going to stamp on this, and then it doesn't have to say cheers. The greetings with this set are cheers is the big one, and then to you, to us, it's your day, and let's celebrate. So we can always bring in a different greeting. Anybody have any thoughts? On what kind of fruity drink? Something with an umbrella. And I will tell you, like on this card, you may notice some white speckles. I think when I used my tray, we have, and I have no clue where it is right now, but we have a tray. I don't even know where my embossing buddy went to. And it comes with the embossing buddy, some tweezers, a brush. I think I accidentally had some white left in there and it mixed with my clear. So I have some white speckles in there as well. I found my tray. I'm just not sure, somewhere here. Oh, here it is. This is the, I think this is the old one. I have another embossing buddy somewhere, but there's one that comes with this. If you want, if you like the tray, you can dump your powder in it and then brush it off, and then it, and then excuse me, you refill it back into your container. Yeah, they could be bubbles. You know, I just go with it. I feel like it's okay. Doesn't have to look perfect, right? Nobody has any preference? Well, let's start stamping. So, I'm going to do, I might do 2 glasses. Let's see. Oh, this one's already out. So I used, let me dig into my inks here. I used Smoky Slate. And I like to stamp off. So let me grab a sheet here. So I want the outline of the glass to be light. So I stamped off. And then I'm just going to stamp it right there. And then I think I'm going to overlap. Let's see. If I don't like it, I'll just start over. Now, if you're using these with the dies, these are, you know, open stamps. So they squish. So lay it down and kind of let it go back to its original form before you pick it up if you're die cutting, because if you squish it or it's not laying exactly right, it will not match up to your die. So hopefully that made sense. I am going to overlap these a little bit. So we're going to try something just a little different. And you don't have to put the ice cubes in. So let me bring this back in. You could just do the drink, you know, like maybe it's a frozen drink that's blended, so the ice wouldn't show. They are big. It is big ice cubes. So we're going to leave the ice cubes off of this card. And we're going to make a blended drink with an umbrella. Now, this umbrella doesn't show a stick. So I've seen a lot of people using this little, like the little sword that has all the olives and stuff on it, and your Bloody Mary, or in other drinks, like a martini might have an onion. They have the cocktail onions. There is this little stamp, and I think it's kind of going unnoticed, but I'm going to use this. And I don't know what it was intended for, but I'm assuming it was intended for my my little umbrella here. So let's do an umbrella in the tall drink, and I'm not sure what garnish we're going to put on the bottom one, if any. Now you don't have to do, so you could have a little stick like this, but you could also just stamp your umbrella, okay? Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm actually going to stamp this part first, and I'm just going to have it hanging up here. Oh, I stamped that full force. That's okay. That's okay. The glass can be stamped off. I guess that's fine. And then I'm going to, I will do this, this little stick. And I'm just going to put it like this. And if you don't want it to go really far, then just ink part of it up. Okay. I'm trying to line it up the best I can. There we go. Good enough. Depends on how full your drink is and how much shows. But you can let your stamp hang off of your drink cup. Okay. Joan, you'd like a blue drink. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Trying to think what else we might want on here. Now, on my original cards, I didn't add any fruit. I just added some things. Well, on this I did, but I added it on the top. So I did have a little cherry down in here, But once I started coloring, it was covered up. So let's do a blended drink, and we will just overlap these. I'm trying to think. Let's see, what else? What color blue? I'm trying to think. The blue drinks that I'm thinking of were like really bright. And the colors will mix right here where they overlap, and that's okay. Once I put clear embossing on this, then I will do the background. Okay. Do we want anything else stamped? We do have our little orange here. Or it could be a lemon, a lime, an orange slice. Okay. You could put an orange slice right there. Let's do that. The lavender and the rosemary together on the smaller. Oh, let's try that. So have these sticking out. It feels too tall. Do you mean sticking out of the glass or laying like that? It feels busy. So you have like a little mint sprig. Where's the mint? Mint. This is like the celery stalks. This is rosemary and lavender. There's like a little blackberry or a raspberry. There's your citrus and your strawberry and your olive and a little cherry. So I love the variety that's in here. So I don't know. Do you guys, let's have a little vote. Do you think that feels too busy, or do you want to add it? And I don't know how this would look stacked. So I don't want to do masking. I don't want to mask anything. Okay. And I would have to do that in order to stack them. I guess it depends on what drink this is. If you would, you could always stick this down in the glass. But let me use my paper here as a guide. So this is showing like a fresh freesia kind of drink with this sticking out of it. And the stamp set doesn't look exact. This is like a watercolored. And then this is kind of like a timid tiger with the rosemary. All right. So Joan, Blackberry Bliss on the bottom, blue on top. Okay. I've got that for that one. Okay, we just need to decide what this little drink is. I was thinking about just doing a little orange like this. You could also do a mint. A little mint drink. The dilemmas of what to make. I love that we have that paper, though, that kind of has all the little drinks on it. There's another paper, too. Now, this set does not have a straw, but if you have some of our older drink sets, there are a straw. So this paper has like a sangria. Ooh, we could make this a sangria and color it really light and then color some fruit in the bottom. Now, we don't have a half a slice, but you could mask it and do half of a slice, so it's like a wedge. But I love this paper and all the different bottles and drinks. So let's get our creative juices going. Water. It could be water. You just do it clear. Okay, I see a couple votes for an orange. All right, let's do the orange. I'm going to have to try some of these other ones with these really long, like the lavender. And I feel like I've had ideas, but sometimes I feel stumped too. So I'm going to stamp it in the smoky slate. And I think I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it to be full force. So you can do that. So let me show you. Let me stamp that off really quick. If you only wanted half, you would just kind of lay half on and then stamp it, okay, to get your half a slice in there. Let's clean it. Let's do one of those in the glass. Maybe we'll have it down in the glass. So I'm just going to let half of it hang off, okay? Stamp off here, and then we'll put it down in the glass. So you can barely see it, but when we color it, it will show up. What do you guys think? So that's how you could make your half a slice, and we'll fill it in. Okay, so, I've got my markers here. Let me see what I got. This is Blackberry Bliss. So we're going to have a really colorful drink over here. Shoot me some colors that you think I should put on my umbrella. And I'm going to grab some other blends. I mean, I have a lot over here, but I don't have all the colors we want. So I'm going to grab this. And I need a blue. Now, if you have Tahitian Tide, that's a good blue. I'm going to try something here. So let me show you what I do when I'm trying to decide what colors I want. Okay. So this was suggested for my tall drink here. We've got Blackberry Bliss. And then it melts into a blue. I don't know if I like that one. That's Azure Afternoon. So let me try this again. And to me, it might be easier to sponge colors on when you want to do this versus the blends. Because it's hard to get that color change. I grabbed this one. I didn't know. I don't think I'm going to like this one either. This is Summer Splash. No. Nope. So I'm thinking of a bright blue drink, but we don't really have that bright blue anymore. We do have balmy blue. The bright blue, like a Tahitian Tide, I think would look great. And I do have that color. That's an old color. But this is, that's balmy blue. Or blueberry bushel, but it's really dark. So how dark do we want our drink? And for the orange drink, I'm thinking peach pie. There's my light and dark peach pie. And my orange would be the Timid Tiger. So if you want this orange, what do you think? Get some ideas going for this drink. They're going to overlap, and that's okay. So this is the colors for this one. But I'm not sure the blues, I'm not sure how I feel about those together. I feel like I need a fresh freesia or something light. Blue and orange are complements, and I do like those colors together, but I don't feel like this is, I don't feel like it's coming together for me. So let me know what you guys think. Let's see what I have over here. That's Flirty Flamingo. Here's some fresh freesia. So here's fresh freesia. Any thoughts on how we're going with this? So if you're watching the replay, we are going through the creative process of how we would make these decisions and kind of what goes together. So we could do a lemonade, like a pink lemonade kind of color. But sometimes this is the part that we need help with, is what colors we want. So this is pretty in pink. Could be like a pink lemonade, a frozen lemonade, and an orange drink. They're going to overlap right here. I'm going to do the colors right over top of each other in that space where the glass overlaps, because if this is lighter, that color would show through if it was darker when your space overlaps. So Vicki, you vote for a lighter purple. So I think I could do a little bit of this. This is the light Blackberry Bliss in the bottom. Excuse me. Now, if you were using a blending brush, and let me give you a little tip here, you can make a mask with your die. So you take the die that matches this cup and you use the negative. So you keep the cutout for a card, you use the negative space, and you can take your blending brush, and it's a mask, okay, and it's going to fill in that glass. If you do that, the colors are going to be different because you can blend it a little bit so it looks like that color change. Blends, markers, are a little bit harder for me to get that color change. Okay, Strawberry Slush. Let's see. I think I do have that next to me. I have a lot of markers next to me here. Okay, here's Strawberry Slush. Okay. That's the dark. That's a nice, bright red. And we could even put a little bit of that Pretty in Pink in it. So let me grab a new sheet here. So here's the Pretty in Pink. You know, if you blend strawberries there, so that's the dark. Find the light here. There we go. And so I may do a little dot coloring in the bottom and then blend a lighter color through it. What do you guys think? Do you like that? I want it to look kind of fruity, festive. And then we're going to color this, and maybe we'll color it similar to the colors that we are using for our drinks. And you could even stamp, if you have some texture stamps, you could stamp some textures on your umbrella and then cut it out and tape it over top. Okay, and then here's the fresh freesia. I just like that pinky purple. Sorry, I'm trying to find my colors here. So let's vote really quick. So this is Fresh Freesia. And then we have Strawberry Slush. And we could do, you can do like a little bit of like the drink's settled and there's some Blackberry Bliss in the bottom. And then we would color over it. So what do you think? Let's vote. The oranges with Strawberry Slush, that's number 1, or the oranges with the lighter purpley pink Fresh Freesia, number 2. So Strawberry Slush, number 1, and number 2, Fresh Freesia. Okay, let's vote, and then I'm going to start coloring. So I already know I want this orange, so while you guys are deciding, I'm going to start coloring my orange that's down in my drink. And I'm just using dark Timid Tiger on this. So 1 is Strawberry Slush, 2 is Fresh Freesia. Oops. So I just colored my orange. It's at the bottom of my little drink here. Okay, I think we are going with Fresh Freesia. So I like both, actually. I do, this reminds me of like a daiquiri or just a fun fruity drink. But I am going to do some where I didn't get a chance to do all the sponging. I did a lemonade, but I do think you can make the transition a little bit better if you do the masking. But we're going to do it with blends today. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use that light peach pie. And I'm not going to fill my glass all the way here. Just going to kind of draw myself a line. And then I'm going to go down and around. And you can leave a little space. You have to go all the way to the edge. It's up to you. And then I'm just going to lay on some color over top. And I'm going to go right over that orange that I colored. And if you want some darker spots, you can come in with this is peach pie. You can come in with the darker color and just add some some darker areas, and it's going to kind of blend into that. I'm just dotting it on. I am going to go over where it's overlapping. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I did there. Okay, so let's go in. Fresh Freesia 1. So, I'm gonna do my little dots first. So I'm just gonna kind of dot on the darker. So this is light Blackberry Bliss that I'm using with the Fresh Freesia. And I am gonna overlap those two colors. I'm just creating some darker areas here. And we're going to see how this turns out. Just kind of experimenting. So this would be seen through that glass if they were sitting side by side, kind of. That's the way. Okay, this is dark Fresh Freesia. And I'm just gonna brush it on right over top of that. Now, if you wanted this orange glass to show right in front of it, you could mask it. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to experiment and see how this turns out. So I'm going to put this, and I'm just doing some circles. It's like a frozen drink, so I'm going to give it some texture. And we'll see how it turns out. So my gray line isn't showing up as well, but I'm going to come in with my color lifter and lighten this a little bit. Just a little. I want that purple to peek through a little bit. And then I'm going to come back with my peach pie. So our drinks have overlapped there. Okay. Let's see, I feel like I need some this is that dark Fresh Freesia. Adding a little bit more. And then the light. Okay, let's let it dry for a second and see how we like that. So what should we do? A dark purple think, should we put, what color should our umbrella be? Any thoughts on that? And then I'm going to show you how I did my Versamark on my glasses to make them shiny. So here's all the colors that we kind of were using. Do we want like a matchy-matchy? Do you want to bring in a blue? This was Summer Splash, and I think it was just too green. That's more of a, it's kind of like a Coastal Cabana, but I think a little more green. Or do you want to do the umbrella in Blackberry Bliss, light green? I do have soft seafoam over here. I don't know how that would look. We don't have a lot of light greens. This is about the lightest green we have. And then we have the bright greens like lemon lime. So I don't know if I like the soft seafoam. Sometimes I feel like I have to just test my blends out and see what colors I like, what I think's gonna go with my colors. So any other thoughts? Anybody else have ideas? I see a yellow. Anybody? Let's see what I have here. I have Lemon Lolly. That's our lightest yellow. I could do yellow though. That shows through the paper. Oh, Parakeet Party. Yeah, that was a excuse me, a very good green, but it's like lemon lime twist. So could definitely do that. Okay, we got to decide. I'm going to give a couple more seconds because the embossing is going to take a minute. So I'm trying to think of another color that I think might look fun. Now, I will say, like if we go back to our drinks here, okay, this was, I think, Pretty in Pink. Let me see what the colors are. This is Cloud Cover. So we could use Cloud Cover. It's kind of a, to me, it's a blue-gray neutral. So this paper has Berry Burst in it. It has Blackberry Bliss. Bubble Bath is a pink, a bluish undertone pink. Cloud Cover, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink. So yeah, that's Pretty in Pink. That drink looks good, don't it? Strawberry Slush and Timid Tiger. So you can always kind of look on this page for some inspiration on, and the only umbrella that they use, they did some dots on it, is that Cloud Cover. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if you like the Parakeet Party, you may have that color, right, from when we had it. If you don't, the closest thing to that would be that Lemon Lime Twist. So you like the yellow. What do you guys think? Let's have some chatter from everybody that's along for the creative ride here. All strawberry. So this would be Strawberry Slush without that pink. a darker green. I feel like the darker green doesn't say festive to me. I'm thinking maybe we should go with a blue. I'm gonna have space to test it out, aren't I? This is the cloud cover. Oh, careful, it'll be on my... Now, when I did my other ones, what did I do with all my cards? This is Pool Party. So we're going to be, the way I created the background was I used a blending brush and I went over top very lightly. And this will resist it because we're going to do a technique on it. So depending on what color you want in the background, you may not want yellow, because when I sponge over it, of course you could maybe make it sparkly too. So Joan, okay, so let's see. I've seen lots of suggestions. Let's do a little vote. I kind of think this soft seafoam could work as well. Okay, let's do a vote. Cloud cover, which would be a neutral, very neutral, but I'm going to use Pool Party in the background, or soft seafoam. So A, cloud cover, B, soft seafoam, or a really bright color, strawberry slush. What do you guys think? There's lots of colors we could choose. There's lots of options. So really this will be kind of a personal preference. Teals would work as well. You could do like well, we don't have Coastal Cabana. In the Summer Splash, it's really bright. That's about the closest, but you could use Pool Party if you wanted. And then you're sponging Pool Party on the background anyways. So I see some votes for Strawberry Slush. All right, we're going to go with that. So, okay, I see a lot more votes for that. Okay, so sometimes that's the hardest part, is deciding that. And it's okay whatever color you pick, okay? There's no wrong color. It just kind of depends. So I'm using the dark, and I'm just going to go around the edges of this. Like this. I'm not getting real technical here. You could take a lot of time and blend this out really well. And do it however you like, okay? Oops. I'm going to come in with the light. And the light and the dark for this Strawberry Slush blend, there's not a lot of difference. So if you don't want to blend it, you don't have to. I left just a tad, a little bit of white. So there's our little cocktails. Now we are going to do a technique. Hopefully I have enough room here. Oh, sorry, Vicki. I just saw your vote for Summer Splash. So if you're recreating my card, use the colors that you liked the most, okay? And for this next part, I'm going to take Versamark ink, okay? That is the ink that it's sticky, it's clear, and you can emboss with it. You can also tone on tone stamp if you let it dry, but we're going to do an embossing technique on our glasses to make them shiny like this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ink. Normally you would stamp, okay? Normally you would ink up your stamp and stamp on here. This doesn't have a filler stamp, so I'm going to show you how I filled it in. I used just a paintbrush. I'm going to paint my ink on. So I'm just picking up the clear Versamark. It's very shiny, and I'm painting it on. And you want a lot of ink. You notice I didn't rub my thing with the embossing bunny. You could do that, get all that static off. So I'm just squeezing into my pad, and you can kind of see those white areas. That's where I'm picking up my ink. And I'm just going to go over top where my glass is. And it's shiny, so you can see where it's been. And I'm just going to be careful on the edges. I have to keep moving it to see if I'm getting enough. Let me squirt a little bit more in here. You can buy the refills. This is very thick, clear. It's not really an ink. I'm not sure. I guess it's called a Versamark refill, but I don't know what the ink is made out of. It is not like our classic inks. So I'm just picking that up, and I'm going over the whole glass. So even though my drink only goes to a certain point, I'm going over the entire glass area with this. Hopefully you can see that. It's shiny. So if you pick it up, you can kind of see where it's shiny. You want to make sure you get all of it. If you miss any spots, you can always apply some more and do it again. After you emboss, it's fine. You can layer it. So has anyone done this before where they've applied clear embossing over their stamped stuff to kind of give it a glossy, shiny look? I feel like I've shown this before in other ways. Like I love doing a stained glass technique, and I like to use the clear embossing powder. So this stays wet for a little bit. You do want to work a little fast because you want this to stay as wet as possible so all of your powder sticks. So hopefully you can see. This is drying on me a little bit. I'm going to put a second coat on. You could do a little bit at a time, add your embossing powder, and then just keep doing layers. That's fine too. I'm just going to slather it on there. Okay, good enough. And I just lay this on a wet wipe. That's how I clean my brush. Now we're going to bring in, some clear powder and my heat tool. And I just keep mine in these little containers. just going to cover both glasses like this. Tap it off. And I'm just looking to make sure it's covered and I don't have anything that's strayed. I can dump that back in later. Now, here comes the heat tool. Ooh, Crystal Effects Gel. Okay. What? I'm not sure if I know what that is, Joan. So, once this gets hot, you're going to see the change here. Hopefully you can still hear me. Sorry, it is kind of loud. Let me go from the bottom here and see if you can kind of see. See it, the magic happening? It gets really shiny and glossy. So you can heat it from the top or the bottom. I must have had dirt in mine because I see some speckles. I'm not always perfect when I'm doing embossing, and so sometimes things get in my powder. I'm just looking at it in the light. If you move it around, any dull areas are areas that still need the heat. Okay, so you can see that glossy finish means that I'm good. So Crystal Effects, I'm trying to remember what that is, Joan. I don't remember having a gel. Let me see. Let's see. I have the enamel effects. I'm gonna have to look for that. Crystal Effects Gel. I'm just looking really quick. I'm not sure I'm seeing that. Yeah, we must not have that anymore. Now I have seen people use the fine tip glue. I don't have any. It's currently unavailable. The fine tip glue, it says glue pen, but it's a little bottle that squeezes out. I have seen people do that. I do not have that. So, yeah, they used to sell it. Okay, so if you find something like that, you could use that. You can also use Wink of Stella. So if you do not like embossing, okay, and I let mine cool for a second while we were talking. So it's just shiny. Now this is going to resist any more color. That's why I went all the way to the top of my glass so that when I do my background, it doesn't color my glass. Which I guess you could let it. It doesn't matter. But this gives it kind of that sheen, like, you know, a glass effect. You can also use this Wink of Stella if you just prefer to brush it on and you don't have embossing stuff. You don't have to do that. Now to stamp my bottom here, I brought in this texture from the Sunrise Sailing. And I stamped it in Smoky Slate. So it just kind of looks like my glasses are resting somewhere. Don't worry about that. That's going to come off, okay? And you can stamp off if you don't want it as dark. Okay. It is up to you. But don't worry about that stuff that went on your glass. Let me show you. You are going to, you can use a paper towel, you can use a Kleenex, you can use, I keep these little cloths, and you just want to lift up. If you smear it, it's going to go over here. The ink doesn't go on to the glass. It resists it. So that's why I like using the embossing stuff. Okay, so I used brown on some of mine. You can leave it white like this, whatever your preference is. But I do have Pool Party that I'm going to sponge on to the back. So I have my little small blending brush, and I'm going to pick up some Pool Party here. Again, use whatever color you like. So if you want a different color, pick whichever color you want. And I'm just going around on my background here. And because this is strawberry slush, I'm not going to worry too much about going over top of it. But if you had a lighter color, you may want to create a mask with the masking paper. So I'm just going around. And the same thing's going to happen if I get Pool Party on this. It's going to wipe off. And on these, I was kind of doing, I did brown and I did the Pool Party kind of like a beach. So you're looking out and you have the sand and you have the water. That was kind of my thinking when I did that. So I'm just going to do that. And then we can do brown or gray on the bottom. It's up to you, or you can leave it white if you want more white space. I think I put my brown away. Let's just do a little bit of the gray. And this is the large brush. And you can do as much as you like. Again, we're going to wipe off those glasses, so don't worry. If you don't have blending brushes, you could use, there's sponges, you could use the blender pens or something to add a little color. Now I'm going to use this again, and I'm just going to kind of wipe that off. So you still have the shiny glass, but you have some color behind it. Ooh, an embossing pen. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I've seen those. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell the pen with the Versamark in it. But I find that if you want to use a paintbrush, that's something I typically have on hand that I can just use really quick. So, but that is a good tip. So if you want to go looking for that, you can. Now we need to decide what kind of card is this going to be. Is it going to be a birthday? Do you want to do, what kind of card do we want to finish this up as? So you'll notice this is kind of warped a little from my heat tool. You can take a clear block and lay it on top and help it calm down a little bit. But you'll just want to make sure you use a strong adhesive. So there's our little fruity drinks. And you'll see I must have put a little bit of emboss or the Versamark over here. It's okay. So I do have a couple of mats if we want to mat this. I brought in, this is the two-toned. I have Blackberry Bliss, or I have Pool Party. So you can matte it or you can leave it white. So on this one, I did a little Blackberry Bliss matte. This one, I didn't matte it at all. I just stuck it to my card base. So it depends on what look you want to have. Both are correct. Cheers. Okay. So this set does have cheers. It's a celebratory set. So cheers could be for anything. And then I also have Happy Retirement. I'm just looking at the Sunrise Sailing. Congratulations. And then, of course, Simply Said has all of those additional greetings. I love having that set on hand as well. It has happy birthday, thank you. So if you want, you can move your glass down a little bit and have just a little bit of this and have a lot more space. I did these kind of more toward the bottom. So you have a lot of space up here. What do you guys think? You guys like Pool Party? Anybody else have a vote for the greeting? I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Now I'm using the light side. You could use so the dark side's the color. So this is Pool Party. And then you have a light side. I kind of like this light. I feel like it doesn't compete as much. And we sponged on the Pool Party, so it has a lighter look. Oop. I just went right off my layer with my adhesive. It's been one of those kind of mornings. So the layer we stamped was 5 3/4. And this matte layer is 5 1/4 by 4. And you can see it's not wanting to lay down flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting adhesive on it. And then while we're deciding on the greeting, I'm going to plop this block on top to help it lay down. Ooh, relax. Do I have a stamp that says relax? Oh, I do. It's teeny tiny though. I do have a relax in Weekend Adventures. Do we have a relax? Oh, love this place too. There's a cheers in there too if you want something smaller. So that's Weekend Adventures. So, this Scenic Adventure has Just Breathe and Take It Slow. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure what's going to fit. Let me know your thoughts. So I see a vote for the word relax, and I do have one. It's very small. So Just Breathe and Take It Slow, kind of, it does fit in there a little bit. You can create a layer to go down here with a piece of paper. I'm trying to do a 1-layer card. So you can layer it up, but I'm just trying to stamp on the background. So that one, let's see if this little relax could stamp it right here. Enjoy, that's a good one. Oh, we do have that enjoy in here as well. So we've got relax, enjoy. You could put relax and then enjoy down here. You could do both. Or just breathe and take it slow. And it takes up, it would have to fit right here. I don't know if I like that right there. Let's take that one away. Ooh, we might have one from a paper pumpkin, but I'm not recalling which one right off, and that would take me forever to dig through all my paper pumpkins. So I will look and see. I know we had a relax in an older set. This stamp set also has a Better Together, and since we have 2 drinks, you could stamp Better Together in there. And this also has a small cheers. So we could put, let's just build some things here. This has a big cheers. This one has a cheers that matches those, but we could put cheers. Relax and enjoy. And we could do them kind of not straight. Does that make sense? Kind of relax and enjoy. Kind of wonky. What do you guys think? Let me show you what I mean. Let me see if I have a scrap that I can. Here's a scrap. So I'm going to take how I have these laid out. I'm going to pick them up on my block. And you can, let me see if I can. You can stamp these all together. So I have them kind of like that to give you an idea of how it would look. So the relax isn't straight on, so you don't have to do them all straight. Cheers, relax, enjoy. What do you think? Any thoughts? And we're going to finish up our card here. You could do Better Together and then Happy Anniversary on the inside. I don't have a happy anniversary, so you'll not out anyways. You'll have to maybe dig through your stash and find one. I have one somewhere, I think. Any thoughts on the greeting? Anybody still with me? If you're watching on YouTube, I would love for you to comment and tell me how you would finish your card. You like it? Okay. Well, let's try it. So here's another little technique. When you want a bunch of words together, you can put them on the same block. And if you're nervous about stamping on this, use a stamp positioner. So I'm going to test it one more time. And I'm just going to let it sit there for a second. There we go. Whew. So we used a few different stamp sets, not just the cheers and the sips, but I like this. This reminds me of kind of summer. I thought it would be fun to use for scrapbooking as well, to make little embellishments. So I used the Relax and Enjoy is from the Weekend Adventure stamp set. It is in the scrapbooking section or you can just search it in my online store. And I noticed my paper has a little edge, so I just used my bone folder to kind of smooth that out. And I'm just putting it on basic white cardstock. You can also stamp the inside. So you could stamp a little drink on the inside and just leave it plain. You could stamp some fruit along the bottom or add a little piece of this Pool Party two-tone cardstock to decorate it up. I'm going to leave mine plain for right now. Now, my paper wants to pull up a little bit because it has all that texture from heating it. So again, I'm going to place a block there to help weight that down so that the adhesive sticks. So all of my pieces of the back of my card stick. There we go. Couldn't get that out. I like to say cheers too. I don't use that a lot on cards, but I noticed we've had a couple stamps that have come out recently and I've been using it more. Sometimes I think it's just fun to have multiple things on the front. It's Your Day would have worked as well. And I like that these are a little bit smaller, so you can tuck them in. They're not big. And you can mix and match those fonts with other stamp sets that you have. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I am going to be trying some other things. Something else you can do if you don't have blends or you don't want to emboss, you can also use the watercolor pencils to create your drink. And then you can use these blender pens to smooth out those pencil lines. You can also use Wink of Stella and it will kind of make it shiny and it will smooth the pencil line. So you can do some things like that as well. So this is just fun. The drinks remind me of summer, fun times, hanging out with friends, and relaxing. So thank you all for hanging out with me and letting me show you a few of my cards with this Cheers and Sips set. The paper is gorgeous too. That's called Celebratory Sips. There's a suite. So you can find all of those things in my online store at bethroy.stampinup.net. Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you soon. Bye.